Okay, so part two here. So we are using an insulated connector here for these watertight connection for this PV array. I think you might have saw it in part one here, but there's two arrays, so I got to do this all over again. So once you put your screw-on connector on, make sure you label your wires. So we're going around these in a positive negative pattern on the outside. There's 9 holes in here. There's one in the center that we're not using, but we're going to use the ones on the outside for spacing purposes, and it just makes it easier for me. But you can see positive, negative, positive. There's a negative there, positive, negative. The next one's going to be positive, and make sure you tape the ends of your wires. These wires, if you have them plugged in, of course don't plug them in until you're done running them, but just for safety's sake, you definitely want to go ahead and tape them anyways, or secure them so that and that's your positive there, so that you don't get zapped. Getting zapped by solar is no fun at all. We're going to go ahead and label this wire here so that we know that it's a hot. You can never label your wires too much. No such thing as over labeling them. You can never label them too much. Safety first. Okay, now we will input our last one. So we have 4 strings here on this array. There's 11 panels in each string. So we're running right now about 400 and something volts. I forget exactly how many. I have to go back and add it up, but anyway, 11 times, I think these panels are about 47 volts a pop. So, and then we're going to screw this onto here, and you can hear it. Well, now you can't, but you can feel it get tighter and tighter, and it's kind of makes a notching sound there. Make sure your wires are neat and in there tight, and then we're also going to go around this and put some clear non-hardening silicone around there. So I won't do that. That's easy enough to understand. But also what I've done here to keep my wires paired, because sometimes when you do a system, you're not the one that maintains it late, if you move away or whatever, the next maintainer needs to know what's what. So make sure, in this case, I have put a zip tie around all my paired wires, and then I put a red tape on the hot lead, and of course there's nothing on the negative side. So I'm gonna go back and put red tape on this one, and then zip tie it, and then finish the rest of my Midnight Solar 4-breaker panel here. These are the breakers we've chosen to use. The Midnight Solar breakers are okay. These are a step up here, and when you're doing this, guys, make sure there's a voltage rating on here. Make sure the breaker is rated in DC, not AC, but make sure it's rated for the high enough voltage. Many people opt for the breakers at 150 volts, 250 volts because they're cheaper. Cheaper never gets you anywhere in solar. Do not go cheap. Besides, here where the wires are input, it's a better grade of connection. It's a tighter connection. The screws are just better. This is an all-around better breaker than those really thin ones that people use. Thank you. James Walker, All Pro Solar.